Hi everyone, welcome to Poonam's Kitchen. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you my recipe for making aloo gobi. Now this is not the routine aloo gobi that we make in our home kitchens. This is one dish that finds its way in the menus of all dhabas, restaurants and parties. If you have ever wondered how the halwais managed to make this dish so finger-licking delicious, then here are all the secrets open to you. Do make aloo gobi this way. Your friends and family are going to love you for this. Now let's take a look at the ingredients. Here I have all the veggies already chopped. I cut cauliflower in big florets, but I made sure that the stalks are thin. So cut them in a manner that the stalks turn out to be thin. This would ensure that the stalks also get properly cooked with the rest of the subzi. These florets are 3 cups in volume and by weight they are about 300 grams. I cut these florets and soaked this in water for 30 minutes. And now I have strained this so that I can get rid of all the excess water. Here I have 150 grams of diced potatoes. This is 1 cup in volume. I diced the potatoes into a little large pieces. Here I have soaked these potato pieces in water for 2 reasons. One, to prevent them from turning black because of oxidation, and secondly, it helps to get rid of some of the excess starch in the potatoes. This will help prevent them from becoming mushy in the final dish. Both the cauliflower florets and the diced potatoes are comparable in size so that they look good together in the final dish. Definitely adds to the aesthetic appeal of the dish. Here I have sliced onions, 1.5 cups. The slices are neither very thin nor very thick. Very thin slices would become more like brown threads by the end of the cooking. And if the slices are very thick, then they would steal from the character of the whole aloo gobi. The focus is main on the cauliflower and the potatoes. Here I have 3/4 cups of chopped tomatoes. For this I chopped 1 large-sized tomato, and by weight this is 130 grams. Here I have oil that I'll be using for frying and cooking. From amongst the spices, here I have turmeric powder, red chili powder, coriander powder, garam masala, cumin seeds, dried fenugreek leaves and salt. I'll also use bay leaf, cloves and a few peppercorns. Now the halwais and the professional cooks use a lot of whole spices for that extra bold flavor. I'll also use Kashmiri lal mirch, that is the Kashmiri red chili powder. This is more for color rather than heat. This gives a very nice color along with turmeric. However, this is optional. It depends on what color you want for the final dish. I'll also use a tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. It's not here in the display right now. I'll allow the gobi to strain properly. Here I have set a pan to heat at medium, and as the pan warms up, I'll transfer 3 tablespoon oil to this and spread the oil all over the pan so that the frying is even. As the oil warms up, I'll transfer the cauliflower florets, that is the gobi pieces, but I'm not going to topple them onto the pan. I'll hand pick each of these and then place them in the pan. This will prevent any water spills in the warm oil. I'll toss these florets in the warm oil so that there is some even frying. For frying these, I always prefer to take a broad pan, something flat and broad like this, so that I can spread the florets in a single layer. For some quick frying, I'll cover this with a lid and fry for a few minutes. I'll keep tossing these after every few seconds. I have now reduced the heat to between low and medium. It's been 3 minutes. Let me see how the florets look now. Here you see there is browning on the florets. I'll fry these uncovered for another minute. I'll get you a closer look. I'll transfer these florets onto a paper towel. There's enough oil left in the pan. I'll transfer the diced potatoes exactly the same way I did for the cauliflower, hand picking each potato piece and then dropping it in the pan. Now I'll fry this exactly the same way as I did for the cauliflower florets. toss in the hot oil, cover the pan with a lid and fry these for 2 to 3 minutes. And in between I'll be tossing the potatoes. I won't leave these unattended. The potatoes are also partially fried. I'll transfer these to the paper towel along with the cauliflower florets. There is very little oil left in the pan, so I'll add another tablespoon of oil to fry the onions. The pan is very hot right now, so the oil will become warm very fast. Right now the heat is at between low and medium. I'll drop in the bay leaf and fry it lightly. I'll also add a heaped teaspoon of cumin seeds and allow these to crackle. Once the cumin is done, I'll transfer the cloves and the peppercorns. Toss these in the oil and fry it lightly. I'll add 1/3 teaspoon of turmeric powder and fry this. Always add dry spices at low heat, else they tend to burn. I'll add 1/2 teaspoon of Kashmiri lal mirch. Also add a pinch of hing, that is asafoetida, and fry these. The turmeric powder and the Kashmiri lal mirch together give a very nice color to the oil, and the sabzi gets a similar color. I'll now toss in the sliced onions and mix it with the oil. I want the onions to be golden brown because they're going to give a nice coating to the cauliflower and the potatoes. I'll also add the ginger garlic paste and mix it in thoroughly. After adding the onions, I had increased the heat to between low and medium. I'll cover the pan with the lid and fry the onions for a few minutes till they become golden brown. It's been 5 minutes. Let's take a look. I've been tossing the onions after every few seconds. The onions are now soft. I'll add in the rest of the spices. A heaped teaspoon of coriander powder, 1/2 teaspoon of red chili powder. Adjust the chili as per your taste. Mix in the spices. I'll add 3/4 teaspoon of salt to this. I'll add more salt when I add the cauliflower and the potatoes. Mix in the salt. I'll now add the chopped tomatoes and toss these. I'll cover this with a lid and cook for a few more minutes, and in between I'll be tossing after a few seconds. It's been 5 minutes and let's take a look. The masala is now ready. It has started to release the oil. I'll give you a closer look. See, all the oil is being released by the masala. Now is the time to add the rest of the veggies. I'll now add the fried aloo and the gobi. I'll add 3/4 teaspoon salt for the aloo and the gobi. Give it a thorough mix so that the masala covers all the aloo and the gobi. Here I'll now add the kasuri methi. I'll crush it between my palms and toss it in the sabzi. I'll mix it in. So now, except for garam masala, all the spices are in here. In this recipe, tomatoes play a very important role. Tomato is actually food acid and it slows down the softening of other foods in the dish. I'll cover the pan with a lid and cook this for a few minutes at low to medium heat. Now remember, because of the food acid, the cooking will take a little more time. If I were cooking the same dish without tomatoes, that will cook faster. In Dhaba style aloo gobi, the aloo, the gobi and the onions have their own character. Each one of them stands out, and that is only possible if these things do not become mushy. Wais and dhaba walas cook in such large quantities and yet their sabzi is not mushy. So it is the tomatoes. But be mindful that tomatoes can render a sour taste also to the sabzi. So balance is the key. It's been 7 minutes. I have been tossing the sabzi after every few minutes. Now the sabzi is still uncooked. It's not completely cooked. But now I will add the garam masala. I'll add 1/2 teaspoon of garam masala and mix it in. I'll now cover this again with the lid and continue the cooking. I'll keep tossing after every few seconds. It's been 11 minutes, a total of 11 minutes. I'll add chopped cilantro leaves and mix it well. Now if you are planning to serve aloo gobi at a later stage, then this is the time to switch off the heat. If I were to check the aloo, it's slightly undone. So if I cover this, then in the residual heat, the sabzi will get cooked. But if you wish to serve it right away, then the cooking has to be completed at this stage, for which we need to cover it again with the lid and cook for another minute. And that is what I'm going to do and show you the final result. It's been a total of 12 minutes and now our sabzi is completely cooked. I'll check on both gobi and the aloo. Yes, they're both cooked, just the way I wanted them to be. I'll switch off the heat and remove the bay leaf before serving the dish. I'll transfer this to the serving bowl. Garnish this with chopped cilantro leaves. And here I have my bowl of Dhaba styled aloo gobi. Enjoy this with roti, puri, parantha or naan or rice. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked my recipe, do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Poonam's Kitchen on YouTube. A click on my picture on the screen will take you to my channel Poonam's Kitchen on YouTube. Do check it out. For the written recipe of aloo gobi, check out the link given in the description of this video. I'll see you again with a new recipe very soon. Till then, bye.